guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Nat Gamiko, and welcome back to another What I Want to Talk About. And what I want to talk about is spirit shipping as a whole. Because I don't know what dragged me into this or anything. Because I was actually not a fan of this shit for a while. I was not into the yaoi scene at all. It's like one day my brain was like, this sounds kind of interesting. Let's check it out. Just reading a simple, what was it, Sonic the Hedgehog yaoi? And, my brain went from there. First it went from Sonic the Hedgehog to puzzle shipping, and now my brain is fully focused on spirit shipping. Like I said, I'm not one of those people who've always been into this. I am fairly recent with this. Like couple months into this shit. I literally read a crap ton of Wattpad Yu-Gi-Oh shipping on Wattpad, of course. The amount on there is insane. I will have to go over that in another video. Which one should I even start with on this? I will pause the video and I will come back with it. As many of you know, people who saw the English dubbing of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX and did not figure out that there was a season 4 that existed. Some did find out that there was a season 4, but they still rewrote what they had hoped would have happened in season 4. For me, I was in this boat too, because when I was a kid, I didn't even know subbed existed. I was not a well-knowledged person as a kid. The only subbed anime I actually ever saw, and this is way before I watched GX, the only subbed anime I actually saw when I was a kid was Vampire Knights. Yeah, a couple of the episodes were in dub, but when I couldn't find anything in dub, I got curious and started watching the subbed. I was like, okay. Didn't know this was a thing. I did not know that at the time. And when it came back around to wanting to know more about Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, I wasn't aware that there was a season 4 even there. And to this day, my memory of season 4 is vague at best. I don't remember actually watching it. But part of me says, yeah, you did see that. But it's like, when did I ever see that? I don't remember that being a thing at all. And to the date now, I don't even remember a lot of the stuff that happens in it. And the only thing that actually stuck with my mind was actually the end of the season. And the end of the series as a whole, where Jedi has a duel with Yugi in his prime. Basically is a time warp situation going on where it's back to when he was with the Tim, back when he had the God cards, back in his younger years of being a duelist. Because if you want to say timeline wise, everyone speculates that GX happens at least 10 to 20 years after the end of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series itself. That's what everyone thinks. And I cannot say if it is true or not. The only thing that kinda tips me off a little is the fact that if you watch the dubbed of the first episode, you notice that the person handing Jaden the winged Karibo doesn't really sound like Yugi at all. I mean, even if 20 years had passed, I don't think Yugi's voice would have changed that drastically, where he would sound like frickin' a Tem already. It's like, that's kind of a stretch, I'm gonna say. Because we all know by the time Dark Sides of Dimension came out, we all know that Yugi got way freaking taller than we last remembered him to be. I mean, come on, you guys. I don't remember him being nearly as tall as Taya, and that was kind of jarring for me. It's like, damn, how short were you, man? To be almost as tall as her now, that's kind of jarring, to say the least. And what, you're already 18 now? Damn, you fucking grew in fucking high school. It's like, I wish I had that growth spurt. But anyway, this is a story I want to first talk about. Price to pay. Jaden fought tooth and nail for the sake of the world again, but this time he wasn't able to shrug things off with an optimistic smile like usual. No, this time there were consequences, ones he had to pay for, including the bonds between his friends. Some were happy for his return, others were worried, all of them unsure of just how broken he's become, with one very special exception. This is sort of suspenseful. This is basically the spirit shipping with them, and it's got Chaz and Jim in it. It's only a couple chapters long, and it's been completed. It's kind of a simple story, basically talking about the events after the Dark World incident and how this person would take it in the direction for it to go. It's pretty good. I just read it recently, and it's really good. Sorry about that. But it's really good. This person, again, the Sen White Fox, Mako Red Demon, freaking read several of their stories, and one of them being in the last video, the other Jesse. This person has got a good track record for good stories, considering I read 5 of them. And they're all pretty damn good. This one is pretty interesting in itself. I can't tell you guys what happens in it because part of my brain kind of doesn't remember at the moment. I go through freaking fanfiction chapters like crazy, to the point that my brain doesn't really hold it all together sometimes, and this one is not one that I held together completely. I did say it is good. I will say that. I just can't remember all the details. And it's a good thing I don't remember all the details, because we'd be here a while talking about majority of these stories. And right now, I really want to get to more stories before this video gets very long. So let's go ahead and continue on. Okay, you guys, I found another one that's pretty good. This is a one-shot, though. What makes it different is that this is just a one story session that goes all the way through, and it has a very interesting story to tell. Fragments. Jaden Yuki finds himself stranded in Norway with severe memory loss after a tragic car accident, and gets taken in by a kind family with a kid who can also see and hear dual spirits. A tale of loss and love told in a series of fragments. And pre-season 3, yaoi, there's It is yaoi, of course. There's always yaoi with this. But this is a very interesting and subtle tale. This is all about Jaden being involved in an accident, as it is stated. Apparently he was in Norway with his mom on vacation while his father was on business in Japan. Apparently they were going to go stay with his mom's sister when they got in the car accident. Apparently his mother died in the accident, and Jaden was left with severe amnesia, to the point he couldn't remember his mother, his name, and where and who his family was, or what anything happened to him when he was a child. It's kind of sad, I guess. Well, it's not clear how old he is either. I assume he'd be like I don't know, 15 maybe. I don't know. The age thing on this is not direct. So do not depend on age thing to figure out what this is. But this is a really good one-shot story. I found it very interesting. It's not as lengthy as a lot of other stuff. It's lengthy for a one-shot. I never see lengthy one-shots anymore these days. So having one that's over 8,000 words, that's pretty lengthy as is. So there's a lot of stuff you had to read and go through. Um, but yeah, it's a good story. It's good friendship going on in there too, and it's very subtle kind of romance. But that doesn't happen until almost towards the end of the story, when stuff starts coming out, and just before Judah ends up leaving with his dad to go back to wherever they were living. I forget. But it's a very interesting story and very subtly done. I think you guys would kind of find it interesting. At least I find it interesting. It's kind of already good as is. It's very, I guess I would say it's like a 8 out of 10. It's pretty on the nose for a lot of the stuff that goes on in it. And before you say anything, what happened with an aunt? And did he ever find about his aunt? Well, apparently his aunt actually hates him. Her whole half of the family hates him, and that is why he continues to live. He continues to live with Johann and his family during the duration of the story. So yeah, pretty interesting stuff. It's a good story, good read. It's a one shot. You go ahead and check it out if you want. I will put this one in the thing as well. Let's go ahead and go on to the next one. Okay, you guys, finally found another one to talk about. A lot of the ones I've read on my list apparently turned out to either be unfinished or they were all one-shots. I'd rather talk about the one-shots separately than this. So, here's another one I found. This one's called Hear Me. Pure angel Jaden Yuki commits the worst crime an angel can commit and is banished from heaven and becomes a tainted angel who works for Adrian. Can Jesse, a pure angel, rescue the boy he loves so much from the cursed life of a tainted angel? Now, this story, it could have been a little longer. I won't say that it's perfect. It's not that good. But it's an interesting story considering this is from one of the people I tend to read a lot of stuff from. And this person has like 2 accounts that I've read a bunch of stuff from. And this person usually tends to complete a lot of their shit before they actually write shit. So, yeah, this is kind of an interesting one. I think it's a good one. Like, here's the full summary. Every 100 years, 3 angels are chosen to become pure and are sent to Earth. Jaden, Cyrus, and Alexis are chosen to become pure angels and are sent to Earth. They split up, but that's when the incident occurs. After a seemingly nice human captures the 3 angels, Jaden starts to hear a voice telling him to run away. Confused about the voice, Jaden goes into the woods and sees the dead body of his past life, who was actually murdered by the person that the angels are living with. The man, in an attempt to gain power, takes Jaden's seal away from him. That's when the most forbidden thing happens. Jaden kills a human. Jaden is then banished from the paradise and is sent to be killed inside the Gate of Destruction. In an attempt to stay alive, Jaden teams up with the demon named Adrian and becomes a tainted angel. Now Jesse, a pure angel, with a huge crush on Jaden, will risk his life and his power to rescue Jaden from the horrible life of tainted angel. Now you're saying, wait, Jesse wasn't even a pure angel. How the hell could he have done this super fast? Well, let's say one of the angels pulled a couple strings, managed to be able to get him down to Earth fast enough so he could actually save him. And this is an okay story. The details are not great. It's more of the execution that is the good thing about this story, and the drive for it. The drive for it makes it interesting. But I can say that this is not one I can remember liking altogether. I read it through and through because, hell, it's 4 chapters. What the hell else am I gonna spend 30 or 40 minutes doing? It's good. I like it to an extent. But it's not as perfect as a lot of the other ones I've read. Especially some of the other ones I've read. Ooh, jeez. But yeah, that's fine and dandy. Give it a 7 out of 10, maybe? But that's up to you guys. You guys can read this. Check it out. It's gonna be in the description along with everything else I talk about in this story. Or in this video. The story. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue forward. Okay, you guys, I'm back with another one. This is again by the same author who did the last story I just talked about. This is called Crimson Tears. Johann is a human and Judah is a vampire, and they are in love. But the village doesn't agree with their love. Will the lovers prove that they are meant to be, or will Judah end up killed like other vampires who've been caught? The summary is crap. The story could be extended a bit. Like, the one thing I like about when these... That scared me. I hate it when my cats knock shit over. But anyway, with stories like these, it's better to have a flashback on how they met. This sadly does not feature that. So it kinda is like, how the hell did these two even meet and fall in love? That's the only thing I have against this story. Everything else about it is really good. Basically, one note thing going on where, they had to hide and keep their love a secret, though his father finds out fairly quickly and threatens to kill Jaden and threatens to kill Judah, and Johann gets mixed up in it when his father locks him in his room for God knows how fucking long, and tells Judah that his son to stay away from his son and that his son never wants to see him again. Basically letting a whole can of worms out in the process. You guys can finish it from there. It's okay. 3 chapters isn't that much if you're just bored one day and want to read something. It's good. It's kind of good. I can't put it up high, and I didn't put it with the horror because I didn't find it all that scary. The other stories I read were much more violent and much more scary than this tame stuff about vampires. Hell, to me, vampires aren't even scary very much anymore. So it's like, okay. It's like, oh, you have fangs, you bite me. It's not that scary. Okay. But anyway, I digress. Let's go on to another one. Okay, guys, I found another one. This is called In 10 Years. This one... Jeez, I can't even remember it properly. This is the one I think it is. It ends up having vampires in it, but it's played more for the stress of the story, for a story to keep going. But I can't remember entirely. This is 29 chapters in with nearly 50,000 words. This story was a bit of a complicated piece of shit. I'm trying to remember exactly what happened in this story. I will be right back. Okay, it is exactly the story that I'm thinking of. I had to skim a couple chapters, but it is the story I am telling. This this story does feature vampires in it, but it's less of a threat and more of something that just happens. Because, God almighty, this story is kind of a mess. And, like, the summary doesn't stand up to what actually happens in the story. The summary does not stand up to what goes on in this thing, at least by a long shot. Because, the connection with Johann and Judai in this story is very slim at best, because one, Judai has amnesia. Didn't see that fucking coming. He has amnesia. He can't remember when he was a kid, and nor does he remember Johann at all. It's only when they start living together because reasons I can't fucking remember. But yeah, they end up living together, and with Judai, either his cousin or nephew, his aunt, and her sister. This was a complex thing going on, and I can't remember the whole damn thing. Ugh. But yeah, 29 chapters. If you want to give it a shot, it's okay. This one was confusing for me, so describing it for you guys, it's very hard. I can't recall a lot of it. You're welcome to try it. I will say that. This one did not stay in my brain like it should have. But I digress. Let's carry on. Okay, you guys, welcome back to another one. This is One Night Stand. Basically, I actually read this as another story, but it was a puzzle shipping story. But this one is kind of different, I guess. Well, kinda. I will say this is very explicit stuff goes on in this one. So, unless you are not a 100% yaoi person, please do not read this. Because, unless you can't handle explicit content, please do not read this at all. Because this one is a pretty bad explicit shit. Judai hooks up with a man named Johann one night. After they have sex, Johann leaves him the next morning. When Judai goes to school, he discovers that Johann is his new teacher. How will he handle this? And let me just tell you, it is not well. No, there is lust, obsession, and basically underage sex in this. It is wow. It is wow. It's good, and it's wow. It's 7 chapters long, 10,000 words, and it was completed. That's all I'm thankful for, because a story like this would drive me up the fucking wall if it was not finished. Because this was pretty good. The explicit stuff especially was damn good. Like, you just read this couple sentences right here at the bottom, and tell me if you can handle reading that. Because a lot of that happens in the rest of the story. So, you have 7 chapters worth of possibly explicit stuff. So, if you can handle it, good on you, because I did, and shit, it was really hot. Anyway, let's continue. Okay, you guys, I'm back with the last one I really wanted to talk about. This one would have been first, but this one I had a lot more to say on than the other ones. Okay, you guys, this is called The White Knight. It all began when Judai went to his friend's home. Who would have thought that would happen? Yeah, this one does not say what it is, because, well, it's completely bonkers as hell. this story is something very different for what goes on in this. This is basically, well, after visiting his friend's house, Judah gets abducted by a guy who calls him the White Knight. And he ends up getting transported to another world. And things go kind of crazy, I want to say, from there. He's brought there to befriend a king who's got I don't know if you want to call it depression or something. Trying to make him happy before his coronation to be king, and stuff tends to really happen in the story. I will not lie, there is murder, there is craziness that happens, and I will say this is a Jaden that, well, this is a Judai that not a lot of people really see. This is a untrusting individual who does not trust very easily, and he makes it a point to not like people very much either. Like, most of the time he's judging others in this story, but that's because of how he grew up. His family basically left him all alone, and his uncle is basically his caretaker, but even he's not around. And it's crazy. This poor kid suffers a lot, and he's all by himself the majority of the time. Even his friends are too busy because they're trying to get ready to head into high school. So it's kind of sad. So it's a saddening, more untrustworthy Jaden. So yeah, prepare for a lot of judgment, lying, and complete and utter denial on Jaden's part. He's a complete denial of the majority of this story, and he tends to freak out quite a bit. Not that it's very important, to be fair. If you were taken to another world, you'd be pretty much in denial too, and pretty much want to be taken back home as soon as possible, because things were just fucking crazy. But yeah, it's really good. I really enjoyed this. The ending is, the last few chapters of the story is very interesting, so to speak. Basically, I'll kind of summarize it real quick. Anyway, Jaden is on the run with his White Knight fellow. I will not say who or what. His White Knight fellow, and they try to escape the king because the king wants to marry Jaden, albeit it's a little weird. He's only known him a few days and he wants to freaking marry him. It's like, okay. But, lots of stuff happens, stuff happens, and somehow Jaden gets transported back to Earth. He winds up in India, and his uncle has to track him down and bring his ass back home. And stuff happens, and he's trying to look for his knight and friend that, his White Knight's brother. He's trying to find them as well because he believed that they got transported to Earth as well. And he ends up finding him in an unusual location. I can't say much else because I don't want to give away everything that happens between him and his knight friend and everything that else that's going to be happening just towards the end of the story. You guys better check it out for yourselves because it's pretty interesting. I rate this one very high because it's one of the more interesting ones, and this one still has a lingering feeling in my chest every time I talk about it because it's one of the ones that it's unexpected where it goes. And it's like, okay, I did not expect that to happen. This is kind of getting interesting. And yeah, go ahead and check it out. It has its own build for the story, its own world complex for it as well. And everything just makes it interesting. You gotta really eat into this. This is pretty good stuff. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching me talk about one of my favorite shippings I currently love right now, because damn it, if I'm not a big fan of this ship, I drive my friends crazy talking about how much I love this stuff, because this is a good ship to me. I enjoy this ship. I think it's possible that this ship could exist, because I've seen videos talking about the important. I saw Melon Tree's video talking about the importance uh, of of Johan Anderson as a character and a figure in Jaden's life. I will 100% agree. I think Johan is fucking gay. And it's like, how can you fucking say that he's fucking gay? It's like, it's very easy to believe that this guy is gay. Or at least, you want to assume that he's portrayed as gay because, well, you got the European character, he's Scandinavian, he wears flamboyant clothes, and he's got a rainbow deck. And, well, the way the friendship is so fastly matured and shit, you might as well come off of it and say, there might be a little gayness there. I could believe it. I mean, yeah, come on. And it was a really crazy idea for 4Kids to have put him as a Texan's accent. Because, yeah, we are very conservative down here. We are not all that open either. We are not open out of the closet completely. I will say that entirely right now. That's why I think it was the reason they contrast that by giving him a Texas accent so they wouldn't come off as completely gay. Well, the Texas accent just makes it a hell of a lot worse. Especially because a lot of Texas accents are freaking hot. Well, not mine. I'm from the wrong side of Texas. That you would assume that Jesse's from. Jesse doesn't even fucking sound like Texas. Honest to God, he's got that weird southern mix that sounds like something you would find either in Nebraska or Georgia or even Alabama, damn it. It doesn't sound anything like what we got. Hell, even I don't even know what I sound like. And I don't even think I have a Texas accent. And I'm from Texas, so it's like, when I hear someone else portraying a Texas accent, it's like, dude, that is not a Texas accent. That is not what we sound like. And because I can't tell what I sound like. To you guys, I probably sound like completely different. For me, I sound just fucking normal. I don't even sound like I have like a drawl or anything like that. And then again, I don't talk with that southern lang or the slang that they use. But yeah, I digress anyway. I hope you guys enjoyed this story. I hope you enjoyed this video altogether. I hope you guys actually come and check out these stories, because I really do enjoy reading and telling you guys all about this stuff, because it makes it interesting for me, and I hope it makes it interesting for you. So now, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks a lot for watching, and please comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.